Right, are we streaming? Welcome everyone. Welcome to all my 0 viewers. Going to be doing C++ today, using some learning resources I have lined up for me. Okay. Stream is currently unlisted, so I can test stuff. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, pretty low latency. You can hear me well. Okay, pretty low latency. All good, all good. I can put it to public now. Right. All good, all good. Make the code editor a bit bigger. Code editor a bit. Okay. 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 Well, we got 1440p. Sick. Okay. So, I'm a big noob on C++, but hopefully I can learn it quickly. So I'm going to be using this. All right, I'm going to be doing socket programming because I like the network side of stuff, network side. I've got some Python projects here. So in Python, I made a client and a server using what I've learned online. So this does work. It can handle multiple clients using threads. But I want to do it in C++. Okay. So, what is a socket? God knows. God knows. You make a call to the socket system routine, and it returns a socket object with data in it. There's two types of internet socket. There's the stream socket and datagram. Stream is what is it? TCP. And datagram is UDP, I'm pretty sure. If I've learned correctly from Python. Yeah. I can't lie, this is a bunch of waffle. Yeah, this is that model that I've learned in GCSE. Kind of forgot about it though. All right, let's see next. Can we get to the coding stuff? This is kind of stuff I learned in GCSE, not gonna lie. Some of it. I've got a better idea. I would just use this. LearnCPP.com. Could be using that because other website was quite hard. So I need to get the basics down first, and then I'll go to that website. So when you compile your project, you might expect that the compiler compiles each stage, each code file exactly as you've written it, but that's not the case. So prior to the compilation, it goes through pre-processing, and it makes changes to the code. Is my face in the way? I think it is. Gotta change that. Oh. All right. So back to it. The preprocessor does not actually modify the code. Rather, all changes made by the preprocessor happens in temporary RAM or temporary files. Okay. It's just some history. The preprocessor was a separate program from the compiler, but in modern compilers, the preprocessor is built inside. Okay, coolio. So the #include directives, that is preprocessor, I think. It's basically just this stuff in it. The #includes. Yeah, you've already seen include. The included contents are then pre-processed. Oh, wait. What was that? Okay. Then the included contents are then pre-processed. Then the rest of the file is pre-processed. What? All right, whatever. Consider the following program. Yeah, hello world. Basic. When the preprocessor runs on this script, the preprocessor will replace #include with the contents of the file name iostream. Yeah, so I've seen this online. So it just copy and pastes everything in there in here. So it looks like there's a bunch of code, but we just can't see that. That's what I've heard a few months ago. And that's what it says on this website, so it's probably true. Define can be used to create a macro. What is that? Macro is a rule that defines how input text is converted into replacement output text. There are two basic types of macros, object-like macros and function-like macros. Oh, so much waffle. Function-like wait a sec. All right. Function-like macros act like functions and serve a similar purpose. Their use is generally considered unsafe. So we shouldn't use function-like macros. Anything they can do can be done by a normal function. Yeah? Object-like macros can be defined in one of two ways. Define identifier and define the substitution text. So is that like in Python we use an as keyword to give it another name, maybe? Top definition has no substitution text, whereas the bottom does. Okay, all uppercase letters. Nice. The conditional compilation preprocessor directives allow you to specify under what conditions something will or won't compile. Okay, there are quite a few different conditional compilation directives, but we'll only cover a few. If def, if and def, and if. Yeah, I've seen those before in other people's scripts. They're normally in header files, aren't they? Not in the main code, if I'm wrong. Okay, because printjo has been defined, the line std out will be compiled. So if defined, if printjo is defined, then do that and then end the if statement. If printbob is defined, then do that. That will not be defined because printbob is not defined. Okay, so is that a macro then? That's conditional compilation. Okay, yeah. I get it. Let's do a little practice ourselves. Include. Wait. Hashtag. If and put Gabe. CD. Cout. Gabe. End if. Let's see, does it work? How do I run this thing again? I actually forgot how to run it. The option is normally there. I'll try something different. Where even is this? I think I just lost my code. It's gone. No, I'm just gonna make a new project because I messed up the other one. So. My screen is so massive I can't find the buttons. Alright. So, don't need any of that. We'll do this again. Include if and def. Output Gabe. If and def. I've got to find what is the difference between if and def and if def. So if not defined and if defined. Okay. Okay. So this one, if print bob is not defined, it will print bob. But this one, if defined, then if print bob is defined, then it will print it. And if this one, if it's not defined, then it will print it. Okay, that makes sense, that makes sense. So I gotta use the if def without the n, output Gabe. Okay, and then I'll practice the other one too. If not defined, and let's say now, should be able to compile it. Bro, what do you mean there's errors? Okay. I put define and not, I put include and not define. Okay, now it will work. Okay. So Gabe did output because output Gabe is defined, and Monkey Man will output because it's not defined. Okay, that's good, that's good. We're learning already, boys and girls. Boys. All right. If 0. If 0 to exclude a block of code from being compiled, as if it's a comment block. Why would you want to do that? Okay, so it's just a way of commenting out code. If I don't want any of this code to be compiled, then I just do if 0. Then end if. I even highlight it for me, which bit is indented, which bit is not going to run, I mean. Alright. Good. I can put some music on. What's good coding music? Oh no, these thumbnails are so cringe. Nah, actually, I'm not doing that. Let's do some drum and bass. Yeah. Let's hope I don't get copyrighted. Let's hope I don't get copyrighted. Let's hope I don't get... Yo, calm down. V9WYD. How's it going, my man? You alright? You all good, yeah? I started about, I don't even know, 20 minutes ago, something like that. I got to get a widget on OBS to display the chat on the screen. I don't have that currently, but it's fine. Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm gonna keep up the grind, definitely. Love grinding. Right. So, what, do you do any programming yourself? Do you know C++ or anything like that? If you got any tips or tricks or whatever, I'll gladly take it. Right, I cannot speak. To temporarily re-enable code that has been wrapped in an if0 commented statement, you can change it to if1. Okay. Alright, but what's the point of doing an if1 if it's just gonna execute anyway? Always true. Okay. It's weird. You know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's nice. That's insane. So you would be a pretty decent web developer. That's nice. Learning some backend would always be useful. Even just a little bit of Python would be great to add to your knowledge. I know a bit of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript due to my GCSEs and my T-level that I'm currently studying, but I'm not a fan of it. I prefer the back-end stuff. That is really cool to me. But yeah, if you like it, then keep on going, man. Web developers get paid really well. So good on you. Now, I just don't get what does if1 mean? Because if it's gonna, by default, it's all executed anyway. So what's the point of this? You know data structures, SQL. Nice, man. Good job. That's sick, man. I'm trying to learn data structures as well. On my T-level course, it's a T-level software development. We don't do that kind of stuff, unfortunately. It's quite basic, just basic Python stuff. So it has been quite boring the first year of the course. The second year starting soon, we're going to be doing some front-end stuff and PHP and a little bit of, what is it, SQL, yeah? But that's it. Tell me if the music is too loud or too quiet, by the way. I need some feedback. If you can't hear the music at all, tell me. Or if it's too loud. Okay. Also, thank you for subscribing, V9. Welcome to this place. Hope you like it. So, macro substitution within other preprocessor commands. This is actually a bunch of waffle. Hey Nick Danelia, welcome to the stream, my guy. Thank you. I appreciate it. Can you guys say if the music's too loud or too quiet? If not, I'll assume it's okay. So, if we define print Joe, if print Joe is defined, then we'll print Joe. Yeah, okay? Since we defined print Joe to be nothing, how come the preprocessor didn't replace print Joe in if defined with nothing and exclude the output statement from compilation? Alright, thanks for the feedback, Nick. I don't really get this sentence. Am I being silly? Well, print Joe is defined because we defined it on line number 1. I'm actually being silly. I don't understand this sentence. Anyway. Macro substitution does not occur when a macro identifier is used within another preprocessor command. Lovely. Alright. So the scopes of defines. Directives are resolved before compilation from top to bottom on a file by file basis. Yeah, so IO stream will be included and all of that code will be put at the top of the file. Yeah, we get that. First, yeah, this is on line 1. Even though it looks like define my name Alex is defined inside the function foo, the preprocessor doesn't understand concepts like functions. Alright, interesting. Therefore, this program behaves identically to one where define my name Alex was defined either before or immediately after the function foo. To avoid confusion, you genuinely want to define identifiers outside the functions. Okay. I thought that was common sense, but yeah. I don't know why you'd put a define in a function. They go at the top of the program for readability purposes anyway. Okay. Because the include directive replaces the include directive. Because an include directive replaces the include directive with the contents of the included file, yeah. An include can copy directives from the included file into the current file. Oh my, bunch of gibberish. These directives will then be processed in order. For example, the following also behaves identically to the prior examples. Okay. So it's the same as it being on line 1 as being on line 5. Or something like that. This copies define my name from alex.h. Okay, yeah, because it does copy the code from alex.h into main.cpp right at the top. So yeah, that makes sense. Once the preprocessor has finished, all defined identifiers from that file are discarded. This means that directives are only valid from the point of definition to the end of the file in which they are defined. Directives defined in one file do not have any impact on other files unless they are included in another file. Yeah. Forward declaration, does that work or no? Yo, this is not drum and bass. Where's the drum and bass, man? No way, we got reggae jungle. Alright. Okay. So forward declaration does work. Okay, let's go to header files then. We discussed how programs can be split across multiple files. Wait, that's quite loud. We also discussed how forward declarations are used to allow the code in one file to access something to find another. Yeah. When programs contain only a few small files, manually adding a few forward declarations to the top of each file isn't too bad. However, as programs grow larger and make use of more files and functions, having to manually add a large number of forward declarations to the top of each file becomes tedious. Yeah, of course. If you have a 5-file program, each of which requires 10 forward declarations, so like 2 per file or something, you're gonna have to copy and paste 50 forward declarations. Oh, that's crazy. Now consider the case where you have 100 files and 100 forward declarations. That's not possible. And that's where header files come into play, yeah. So, header files. I've used header files before. They define all the stuff in one file, and then you can just include the header file at the top, and that'll fix the problem, really. Yeah. Using standard library header files. Oh wait, one sec. Header files allows us to put declarations in one place and then import them wherever we need them. Yeah, that's what I said a few minutes ago. Yeah, kind of. So, using standard library header files. Consider the following program. Include IOStream. Is that a header file? The program prints hello world to the console using stdcout. However, this program never provided a definition for stdcout. So how does the compiler know what it is? Well, IOStream is the header file. It just doesn't have .h at the end because it doesn't need it, because it's like a default thing, I believe. That's the explanation. The answer is the stdcout has been forward declarated in the IOStream header file. Yeah, that's it. So when we include IOStream, we're requesting that the preprocessor copy all of the content using include. Yeah. So key insight: when you include a file, the content of the included file is inserted at point of inclusion. Yeah. This provides a useful way to pull in declarations from another file. Yeah, we talked about that in a different page. Using header files to propagate. What does that mean, G? So breathe, multiply. Okay. Fair enough, fair enough. We had 2 files, add.cpp and main.cpp. I'll just do that real quick. Make a CPP file. I did not call it source, bro. Add. Is it class or item? I'm not sure. I'll just do class. No, I'll do item. Yeah, item. Thank you. And then add.cpp. So I'll make this function with 2 parameters. And it will just return x plus y. And then we can add this file somehow. Oh yeah, forward declaration, that's it. That's how we do it. If I can spell, please. That's it. I don't know how I got a grade 5 in GCSE English. I cannot spell. Okay. So we just define it here, or initialize it, whatever it is. And this is the forward declaration to this file. Yeah. And we can just use it in the program. Why did it de-indent itself? That's weird. Add a new line. Now let's see what it will print. I'll remove the hello world, that's a bit useless. Six plus 9 is 15. Yeah. Cool, man. Okay. In this example, we used forward declaration so that the compiler will know what identifier add is when compiling main. As previously mentioned, manually adding forward declarations for every function you want to use that lives in another file can get tedious quickly. Yeah. So let's write header file to relieve us of this burden. Yeah. Writing header file is easy as header files only consist of 2 parts. The header guard, which we'll discuss more in the next page, and the actual content, which is just the declaration of the objects. Like this, I'm pretty sure. So now I need to make a header file. So now I go to header files here, add, I think it's item again. Yo, Nick, help me out. How do I make the header file? This one ends in .cpp. I didn't know that it works without header file. Yeah. Oh, here it is, okay. So that's the header file. We want to call it maths. Check the second one. Yeah. Okay, add. Should be it. Pragma once. Oh, I learned what that was a few months ago. I forgot what it is. What is Pragma once? What is it, G? It's a preprocessor direct. It ensures that the file is included only once. Ah, okay. That's good, that's good. So it saves space. It saves RAM. I think the name should match. You think? What, so add.h? Ah, yeah. A header file is paired with a code file. They should both have the same base name. Okay, yeah, you're right. Good job, Nick. I did not know that. Thanks for telling me. So add.h, and then here we can include add.h. I think. Yeah, good one, Nick. So they've got to be paired. And in the header file, we just do this. Yeah. We use quotes just like I did there. I seriously got to get a chat widget on my screen, because I keep on turning my head 90 degrees to see the chat on the other screen. Okay, I'll do it next stream. Okay, so let's see if that works. That add function, it should work. Yeah, it works. Good. When the preprocessor processes the include add header, it copies the content of add.h into the current file. Yeah. Yeah. You can easily tell. Well, not for long, buddy. I'm gonna add that next stream with stream elements or stream labs. One of those. Because my neck's starting to hurt. I've got a pretty long neck if you didn't notice. It requires a lot of muscle to move it around the screen so much. So the end result is a program that is functionally the same as the one where we manually added the full declaration at the top. Yeah. So the program will compile and link correctly. So it starts here. Or is it in does it compile in alphabetical order? That's crazy. Those CP files, do they compile in alphabetical order? Yes. Yeah, so it does default to alphabetical order. Okay, interesting. Just noticed that now. So first it goes to add, and then it includes. So it makes that function. This flowchart does not help. Okay, this flowchart is really useless. So it compiles add.cpp. Then it makes the object file. It links it. Wait, no, I've missed a few steps. One sec. Main.cpp includes the header file and the IO stream. It compiles both of them. It makes them into object files and then it links them. And then it puts it into main.exe. Athul XDD, welcome to the stream, man. How are you doing? How are you doing? Just use bits stdc++.h. Bro, you're gonna have to explain that to me. I don't know what you mean. Bits. What is that? It's a header file that includes all the standard library. Ah, okay. It's not official, but it's commonly used in competitive programming to save time. I think I'm going to be doing competitive programming when I'm in my 30s or something like that. That is quite a long way away. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Thanks for that. Okay. How including definitions in a header file results in a violation of the one definition rule. For now, you should avoid putting functions or variable definitions in a header file. Why? Doing so would genuinely result in a violation of the one definition rule. Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Where the header file is included into one or more source files. We should have a header guard here. I think the Pragma once is a header file. Short summa. It's basically just shorthand for including the rest of the standard files. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty useful, man. Thank you. Aviv says, good luck. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. I'm gonna need all the luck I can get, because this website, learncpp.com, is actually a bunch of waffle. It's a bunch of waffle, man. My dad just messaged me. What is this guy saying? Okay. So, back to this thing. I'm pretty sure Pragma once is a header file. Oh, what did I do? Get back. Right. Is a guard. What is the word called? The guard thing. Header guards. Right. Is this a header guard? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it is a header guard. Okay, cool. I need to see my... Wait. I'm gonna go on speedtest.com, but I don't wanna I don't wanna dox myself. Alright, I'm getting about 800 megabits per second download speed while streaming this in 1440p. That's pretty good, if I do say so myself. And 100 megabits per second upload. Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Pragma once is a guard, so the compiler won't call the file twice. Yeah, that's true. It's quite useful. That's my speeds, if you guys wanted to know. It does the job of a header guard without being so complex. Yeah, and it's also integrated automatically when you make a header file, so it's quite nice for beginners, especially. So, add.h, we define and implement the function in add.h. I don't think that's right. Yeah, don't do this. Then you include it in main.cpp. I'm gonna change this song, bro. Alright. I gotta go to boxing soon. My boxing class. I've got to end the stream in a bit. Okay. Well, what's the point of add.cpp if we're declaring and defining it in add.h? You can practice in header files by implementing some classes or basic data structures like queue, linked list after reading that page. Doing that would cover most of the use cases of header files. Alright, thank you, man. I'll definitely give it a go. I'm not good with data structures. I tried it in Python once, making linked lists, and it was so, well, it was a bit difficult. It was difficult implementing it. The logic I do understand of linked lists, but implementing it was a different story. Okay. When main.cpp is compiled, include add.h will be replaced with the contents. Yeah. Therefore, the compiler will compile something like this. Yeah. Makes sense. When the compiler compiles add.cpp, add.h will be replaced with the contents. Yeah, so you're defining it twice, which is not good. You should only do it once, because of the one definition rule. Do not put function and variable definition in the header file. Yeah, I didn't do that. Header files are used to separate actual code implementation, which stays hidden, from function names. The header files are like APIs. Oh. The header file is like an API. Really? Oh, I guess it is, yeah. I had the same experience with JavaScript. It became easier in C++, as things like pointers made it really clear what was happening behind the hood. Yeah. Being able to get your hands deep into the hardware and the RAM is quite cool. It's quite really nice in my opinion. All right. This page is quite long. I'm gonna have to leave it for another time. I gotta get to my boxing class. Thank you, Nick. Have a nice day, man. Hopefully see you soon. Yeah. Alright, yeah, that will be it. Right as Nick leaves, I gotta end the stream as well. Gotta get to my boxing class, so yeah. I might stream later today actually, after my boxing class. At about 8. So if you guys wanna tune in for that, I'd love to see you there. And I'd love to have all your input. But yeah, that'll be it for now. If you liked it, give me a like. If you disliked it, give it a dislike, you know. We're in a democratic society. Your opinion is always welcome. And yeah, that's it. See you next time. Peace.